So what are the key issues you need to look for? Before I share that with you, I want to share with you the key question that I ask that will help me immediately understand in just 2 sentences whether or not there may be a viable case here. So remember, we need to know the 3 elements: liability, causation, and damages. So rather than letting these concerned people tell us a story that's going to go on endlessly where they don't really know what we're looking for, what we need to do, and what I suggest you do, is ask them this one question. And contained within this one question are 3 elements. Okay, I'm going to go through it and then repeat it. What is it you think was done wrong, and what injury did you suffer as a result of that? Okay, let me go through it again. What is it you think was done wrong, and what injury did you suffer as a result of that? So what do you think was done wrong gives me a sense to find out from them whether or not there might be departures from good and accepted practice. Because I guarantee you that somebody is going to believe that something was done wrong here, no matter what. That's always the way it starts. But then, these people who are calling don't realize that there has to be that connection. There has to be a causal link between the wrongdoing and an injury. So we always ask, that caused, and what injury did you suffer as a result of that? What are the damages? And now, just within that one compound sentence, I've got a clear understanding of at least what they think is going on. Now remember, it's not always going to be accurate or thorough, but at least just in the first few moments of talking to them, I get a clear sense of what's happening and why. Why do you have this problem? Why do you have this resentment? Why this anger? Tell me more. Now I can follow up and ask key questions. So keep in mind that is a key question for you to ask to keep these people focused so that you don't have to sit there after a whole hour and finally start asking them questions. Now, what else do you need to know? Okay. We talked about the issue finding. What issues are involved in these malpractice cases? Most of these issues arise involving a commission, something done improperly, or an act of omission, something neglected, something not done. So they arise in a failure to diagnose, or an improperly performed surgery case, or something that was not done appropriately. So they have very strategic categories, but without even knowing or identifying what categories those are, let me put it for you in a different context. And here's a good way to explain it. Once you've identified that there's a problem, that somebody thinks or has a suspicion that there's some type of wrongdoing, the next most important thing that you can determine is whether or not the matter is timely. What's the statute of limitations? Because if they tell you their story of woe and their time limit is gone, it doesn't make a difference what happened to them, what injuries occurred, who was killed, makes no difference whatsoever. You cannot change the statute of limitations. So it is critical for you to get a sense of whether or not their matter is timely. So let's delve right into the timeliness issue. And this is something that's very important. And for those of you who don't know, the general time frame to file a lawsuit for medical malpractice in New York against a private doctor or private hospital is 2.5 years from the date of any wrongdoing. And of course, in all aspects of law, there are always exceptions to the general rule. Okay? But we're starting with that general time frame of 2.5 years from the date of the wrongdoing against a private doctor or private physician. So now, let's jump into one of those exceptions. Let's say your client was injured at a municipal hospital in the greater New York metropolitan area, such as Jacobi Hospital, Bellevue Hospital, Elmhurst Hospital, Queens General Hospital, Kings County Hospital, Metropolitan Hospital, and there are many others, just right here in the greater New York metropolitan area. If your client was injured in one of those municipal hospitals, you have to file a notice of claim within 90 days from the date of the wrongdoing. That is a prerequisite, it is a requirement. And that notice of claim must be served on the legal corporation that owns, operates, and maintains those municipal hospitals. And if you think you can file your notice of claim with the City of New York, you are 100% wrong. And if you did file it on the City of New York, you can basically call up your malpractice carrier now. Okay? Because your claim will be dismissed, you won't have a lawsuit, and you're going to be in big problems. You're going to have problems.